Okay, thank you for being here. You want to sit? So I'm glad you're here because I have a really fun class planned for today. I'm going to be telling you a story. So Betsy, you're going to have to hear it again. A story of some Hindu mythology about the warrior pose, Virabhadrasana. Virabhad is a Hindu mythological warrior. And that's why these warrior poses are called Virabhadrasana 1, Virabhadrasana 2, and Virabhadrasana 3. And I'll be explaining during the story today how all this came to be, the Virabhadrasana, Lord Virabhadrad. So we will start with focusing within and focusing on our breath as usual. So close your eyes and start thinking about your breath, simple breath awareness. And then as you become aware of your breath, make your breath deeper, longer, and fuller. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose, very slow, deep, long, full breaths. And if you're new to this yoga breathing, you want to breathe all the way down to your belly. So as you inhale through your nose, feel how the oxygen inflates your lungs, then separates your ribs as it inflates that rib cavity, and then it goes all the way down to your belly and inflates your belly. And then as you exhale, it's like a balloon, letting the air out of a balloon. Slow, even, long, and full breaths. These long, full breaths help get oxygen to every cell in your body, including your skin cells, and they'll help your skin stay young. It also helps your immune system. Every time you inhale, your diaphragm contracts and presses on your abdominal organs, including the spleen, which releases these hormones to help fight the toxins in your body. Use a metronome in your head just to count the beat of your breath. It doesn't matter how many numbers you count, just get a rhythm going. Okay, do one final long, deep, slow yoga breath. Take your time and then bring your breathing back to normal. Normal meaning chest breathing, which is what we do without thinking. We really have to think about getting the oxygen down to our belly, don't we? And then let's please take a deep breath in together and we'll Om in. Om Balu Satguru Bhagavan Ki. The divine is the inner teacher. All right, so we're going to start with a little bit of warm up before we get into my story of Virabhadrad. So sitting up nice and tall, make sure that you're able to tilt your pelvis forward. So if you can't, you want to sit up on a blanket or a bolster if we have any left, I don't know. Just make sure that, or a block, you can sit on a block too. You want to have your knees at least at hip level or below to be comfortable with your spine. And then let's take our hands to heart center. Inhale, push your fingertips up. Exhale, the right hand will float down by your hip. The left arm will come by the ear and the left shoulder goes back. Maybe look up and take a couple of deep breaths here, maybe 3 deep breaths. I think we're good unless Forrest wants that. Forrest, you want a blanket to sit on? Inhale, reach up. Exhale, down. Okay, keep it there just in case. It might be more comfortable than the block. Inhale, open arms in a T. Exhale, twist to the right. Let your left hand rest on the right thigh. Right hand props behind you on the mat. Keep your spine vertical as you twist. Think about spiraling upwards, your crown of your head reaching up. Think about your left shoulder coming around, your left ribs coming around to the right side of your body. Push your right shoulder back and breathe. Inhale. Exhale, slowly twist back to center. Okay, take your fingers, lace your fingers in front. Push your hands away from you, tuck your chin and tuck your tailbone under as you push your hands away from you and push your spine backwards into a C shape. And as you do this, feel how your shoulders separate on the back. Feel how your vertebra opens. And then slowly release, come back upright. Then take your hands behind you and just lean back onto your hands and then push your chest up toward the ceiling, push your shoulders back and breathe. And then slowly come back upright. Switch the cross of your legs so that the other leg is in front. And then hands to heart center. Inhale, push up. Exhale, left hand floats down, right arm comes beside the ear, reaching over, opening up the right ribs, bring the right shoulder back, maybe look up. Push down on your right sit bone because the tendency is to let that lift. Couple more deep breaths. And then inhale, pull up. Exhale, hand comes down. Inhale, open arms in a T. Exhale, twist left. This time the right hand comes on the outside of the left leg. Left hand props behind you like a kickstand. Keep your spine vertical as you twist. Inhale. Exhale, slowly come forward. Extend the legs long, and we'll start warming up our hamstrings here. So come into Dandasana, which is staff pose, which is an L shape with your body. Tilt the pelvis forward so you have a neutral lumbar curve in your low back. Flex the feet, point the knees up and the feet up. And by flexing your feet, you'll feel your leg muscles engage, right? Bring your shoulders up to your ears and then all the way back and round and down, and keep your chest open just like it is right here. Okay, keep the feet flexed and keep your spine long. All we're going to do is lean forward, keeping a long back. So just bring your body forward as much as your body allows until you feel a nice stretch in the hamstrings, and you feel a stretch in your low back too, as long as you keep your back straight here. And then come back upright to vertical. Inhale here. Exhale, lean forward. Feel the stretch gently. Okay, back upright. Inhale. Once more, exhale as you come forward. Keep your head in line with your spine. You don't have to come very far to feel this. Just make sure that you keep your pelvis tilted forward. In other words, keep that little arch in your low back. And then slowly back to center. And then please swing your legs around to one side or the other and come into a table position on your hands and knees, and pad your knees here as needed to keep them happy. So situate your hands underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. You can use that blanket for your knees if you want to have padding for your knees. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, bring your bottom towards your heels. Very slowly as you exhale through your nose, lubricating all of your joints. And then inhale very slowly. Make your breath last as you come back to table. And then exhale once more, very slowly through your nose as you bring your hips back, your bottom back to your heels. Stretching the spine, lubricating all your hinges here. And then inhale very slowly back to table. Nice, long, long, deep breath. And this time when you exhale, we're going to come into the cat. So tuck your toes under, push the mat away, arch your back to the sky like a scared cat. Tuck your chin and tuck your tailbone. Feel your shoulders separate, feel your vertebra open. And then inhale very slowly through your nose as you untuck your toes. And then drop your belly down toward the mat. Push the shoulders to the back of your mat. So this is your cow pose. And then exhale very slowly through your nose once more as you sit your bottom back towards your heels. Inhale very slowly back to table. Exhale, lift your right arm out to the side and then up to the ceiling as you twist your table. And pause here for a couple of breaths. Maybe look up. One more breath. And then that hand comes back down to the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, lift your right knee, bring it into your chest, tuck your chin, bring your nose towards your knee. Hover here for just a couple of breaths, flexing the spine. And then inhale as you slowly kick that leg back behind you and let it be parallel to the mat. And then we'll lift our left arm parallel to the mat. This is our balancing table. So you're engaging your core muscles here to hold this balance. A couple of deep breaths here. Opposite arm and leg extended. One more breath. Exhale, bring the hand down, bring your right foot down, but keep it extended behind you on the mat. Walk your right foot over to the left side of your body and look over your left shoulder, cat looking at its tail. And then walk the foot all the way back around, bring the knee back in. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, cat back again. Tuck the toes, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone. Arch your back. And then inhale very slowly back to your cow pose. Untuck the toes, drop the belly down, push the shoulders back. Exhale very slowly through your nose as you sit back towards your heels. Inhale very slowly back to table. And then exhale very slowly, lifting your left arm out to the side and up toward the ceiling in a twist. And hold this for a couple of breaths. One more breath. Exhale, that arm comes down. Flat back, inhale. Exhale, bring your left knee into your chest, tuck your chin, bring your nose towards your knee, flex the spine, hold it for a beat or two. And then inhale as you kick your leg straight back behind you, parallel to the mat. And then your right arm comes up parallel to the mat, engaging the core muscles. Breathe, find a focal point and breathe. One more breath. And then the hand comes down, the foot comes down, but keep the leg extended behind you. And then walk the foot over to the right side of your body. Look over your right shoulder, cat looking at its tail. Good. And then walk the foot all the way back around behind you and bring the knee in. Okay, from here, we're going to shift our chest between our arms. So shift your weight forward and bring your chest between your arms. Your arms are straight. You're pushing your chest forward. This is a version of upward facing dog, except your knees are on the mat. Push your shoulders back and down. And then back to table. Okay. Tuck your toes and push into a downward facing dog. So Kate, are you familiar with downward dog? Yeah, it looks like you are. Good. Squeeze your forearms together, roll your shoulders out, bend the knees so your spine is nice and long. And then bend the knees, walk up to your hands. Pause here for a breath or two in this forward fold. Loosen up the hamstrings a little bit. So your knees are slightly bent here. If you want to try to pedal one knee and then the other, just slowly loosen up the hamstrings. Be careful, Nancy, with your injury. And then very slowly rise up. Inhale. Exhale. Arms in a T. Anjali Mudra. And then come into Tadasana, mountain pose, reset the spine. Think about the alignment of your spine, head right on top of the shoulders, chin level to the ground, shoulders back, chest open, palms slightly forward, rolling the thighs in toward each other a little bit. Feet are underneath your hips. Mountain pose. Okay, so we begin our story with Lord Shiva. Shiva is a mythological Hindu goddess of, or god, excuse me, he's a god, Hindu god of destruction, destroyer of bad things in the world, not good things, bad things. Shiva is represented by a pose that shows us having 4 arms. Shiva has 4 arms and a shield in front. So this is what it's going to look like. We're going to hold Shiva for a couple of breaths. It's a one-legged balance. And we've been working in this class on our twisted balances. This is a twisted balance. So take whatever leg you want to start with. The other leg, you're going to lift up and twist your body. Sorry, you can see. You're going to lift up and then twist your body to whatever side that's going, okay? So whatever knee is up, you're going to bring your arms to elbow height. The knee that's up, the fingers point down and the palm faces to you, and then the opposite hand, palms out, fingers up. This is your shield. And the 4 arms are your 2 legs, and your 2 elbows are the 4 arms of Shiva. So hold this pose for just a couple of breaths. If you have to put the foot down, let's go ahead and put the foot down. Good. And then release that. And now we introduce Shakti. Shakti is a goddess of creation, Shiva's girlfriend. And she's represented by standing on the same leg that you just stood on, and then kicking the other leg out behind you, and the hand that the leg is kicked back goes in front with the palm facing out. The other hand goes above your head like a halo. This is Shakti, goddess of creation. And then release. Shake that out. And then Shiva has to be represented on the other side. So whatever leg you stood on before, stand on the opposite leg, bring that knee around, twist the body. And remember, the leg that's up, palm goes down, fingers down and palm towards you, and the other hand fingers up and palm away from you, like a shield. Elbows at shoulder height. It's okay. And then release. And then Shakti has to go on the other side too. If I can remember what leg I just did. The opposite leg that you were standing on. So the leg gets kicked back in Shakti. That hand goes out and the other hand comes above your head. Like a halo. So she's being playful. She says, get away, get away, get away. playing hard to get here. Good. And then release that. Okay, so we're still going to balance because now Shiva and Shakti have to get married. So we're going to put the two together, which is a moving balance. So focus on something that's not moving to get your balance. Start with whatever leg you want to. And we're going to come into goddess pose to start with. And then shift your weight over to your standing leg, bring the other knee around, and then you're going to come into your Shiva. Remember the palm down, fingers down, palm in, hand up, fingers up, palm out. And then very slowly, we're going to turn this into Shakti by kicking the leg back, flipping the hand out and the other hand above your head. And then we're going to come into goddess. And then Mary on the other side, shifting the weight over, bringing the knee over, hand over and down, up and down, and then kick back. And then the hand goes out and up. It's okay, it's okay. And then come back into goddess. Pause here for a breath or two. Sit down in a half of a squat, push your tailbone down, bring your shoulders back, chest open. Couple of breaths. And then come back upright, shake it all out, and come to the top of your mat for a continuation of the story. Make sure everybody has blocks, right? Make sure your blocks are handy. Back to mountain pose. So Shakti's father does not approve of this marriage because he does not like Shiva. Bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, push up with your fingertips. Exhale, crescent your body to the right. Bring the left shoulder back and look up. So Shakti's father has all these family gatherings and does not invite Shiva. Inhale back to center. Exhale, arms in a T, Anjali Mudra. Inhale up. Exhale, crescent left, right shoulder comes back. And this, of course, upsets Shakti very much. So despite her father, she throws herself into the party's bonfire. Inhale back up. Exhale, arms in the T, Anjali Mudra. And then back to Tadasana. So now beautiful Shakti is gone in the bonfire. Shiva is extremely angry, extremely angry. So Shiva has this thing on his head like a bunch of dreadlocks. So he pulls these dreadlocks out of his head and throws them down onto the ground. The earth opens and he creates Lord Virabadhrad. Virabadhrad is a fierce warrior. And this is a manifestation of Shiva's anger. So take a step back with your right foot, about, 3 or 4 feet. Have your feet hip width distance apart. Bend your front knee so that it's above the ankle. So you don't want your front knee going forward of the ankle. You want it right above the ankle. Your back foot is at an angle toward the front and your hips are trying to move forward as much as possible. Keep weight in both feet. And we're going to come into Warrior One, which is called Virabhadrasana 1, named after Lord Virabhadrad, the fierce warrior. And this represents him looking to his creator, Shiva, and saying, Lord Shiva, what may I do for you? Take a couple of breaths here. Okay, so pivot onto your back toes. Inhale. Exhale, bring your hands down. So now if you're going to use blocks, now's a good time to bring your hands to your blocks. That's why I wanted you to have them handy. So now we're in a high lunge, and then we're going to step back to a full plank. And we're going to be doing a little bit of up and down here. So if you don't want to get up and down so much, just stay up because we'll eventually get back up. bring your knees down and then shoot your chest forward into your upward facing dog. And then bring back to table and then downward facing dog. You can use your blocks or not for your downward facing dog here. Okay, so this next move is a little bit tricky, so don't worry about it if you can't get it. We're gonna lift our right leg up behind us and swing it up between our hands or blocks. Or you can just pick it up and move it there or get it there by taxi, any other way that you can move it up to between your hands. And then you're gonna step up with your left foot and then slowly rise up. Inhale. Exhale, arms in a T. Anjali Mudra. Back to Tadasana. So step your left foot back now, just like you did on the other side. Have the back foot at an angle, bend the front knee, square your hips forward or square-ish forward. Make sure the knee is not forward of the ankle. And then we'll come into Virabhadrasana 1 on this side. So these poses aren't meant to condone violence, these warrior poses. They're meant to really fight the battle you have within, whatever battle that is, your chitta vrittis, your insecurities, your fears, your doubts. So metaphorically now, this pose where Shiva, Virabhadrasana was asking Shiva, what can I do for you? We're asking God to help us battle or to fight our inner battles, our inner fears. Okay, pivot onto your back toes, inhale, exhale, hands come down to the blocks, step back to plank. And again, you can just stay up if you don't want to, if you want to skip this movement, bring your knees down, come into upward facing dog. Push back, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up behind. Exhale, swing it up between your hands. Somehow get it there, good. Inhale, exhale, step up. Slowly come up. Inhale, exhale, arms in a T. Anjali Mudra. Back to Tadasana. Take a couple of breaths here. This is an active resting pose. So Shiva tells Virabhadrad, his creation out of anger, go cut off my father-in-law's head. So in order to do that, we need some swords, right? So we're going to step back our right foot again. This time you're going to line up your right foot with your front foot. So your right foot is at a slight angle. Your arch of your back leg is going to line up with the heel of your front. And then your knee is above the ankle. Your torso is vertical and your arms come up parallel to the ground and you turn to look over your front hand. So your arms represents swords, ready for battle. Bring the shoulder blades down the back. Think about rotating your front thigh outward to stabilize the knee. Flip your front palm up. Bring it over your head, like your back hand rests on your back thigh, and just lean backwards, wielding your swords. And then wield the swords back, parallel to the ground in Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Good. Now, pivot your body forward, step your back foot out so that you come into this high lunge. Bring your hands down to the blocks. And again, you can skip this movement. You can just stay up if you like. Otherwise, we're going to come back into plank. And then upward facing dog, knees down or up. Tuck toes, downward facing dog. Kick up with your right foot and swing it between your hands or blocks. Step up with the left. And then slowly rise up. Inhale. Exhale, arms in a T. Anjali Mudra. Tadasana, mountain pose. So the metaphor of this pose, we're going to step our left foot back and line up our left arch to the front heel, come into warrior two on this side. So you want to make sure your torso is vertical. You're rolling your front knee, thigh outward, and your arms are your swords. Equal weight in both feet. Make sure you're not leaning forward this way or backward that way. So these represent our weapons to fight the battles within us, whatever they are, to give us strength and courage and power to deal with it. Flip the front palm up, bring it over the head, back hand rests on the thigh, reverse warrior, which is wielding your swords of battle. And then wield the swords back, Virabadhrad 2. Okay, swing the arms forward, step the foot out. Inhale. Exhale, hands come down, plank. Upward facing dog, knees can come down or stay up. And then downward facing dog. Kick your left leg up behind you, swing it up between your hands, step up, and then slowly rise up. Inhale. Exhale, arms in a T, Anjali Mudra. And Tadasana, mountain pose, active rest. Take a couple deep breaths here. So Lord Virabadhrad has cut off Shakti's father's head. Take your 2 blocks, make sure that they're right beside your feet at any level that you want. And you want to come toward the front of your mat so that you can have room to step back. Good. Step your right foot back about 2.5 or 3 feet. So both feet, the back foot now is almost pointing forward. It's at a very steep angle. Both legs are going to stay straight. Your hips are going to be forward. Both hip points are forward. Okay. So we're going to come forward from here, our hips, flat back, lean down, and place your hands on the blocks or the mat. This is a pyramid pose here. So when you get here, this is a big stretch. So you can have your blocks high, it doesn't matter. When you get here though, the tendency is going to be that your left hip is going to want to cock out to avoid the stretch. So make sure that that hip stays in and think about your sacrum on your back, your lower back being level. Right hip comes forward, left hip comes back. And then just rest here for a couple of breaths and enjoy the stretch. All right, now bend the front knee, walk your blocks up to about 1 foot or so in front. And then you're going to put weight into your left foot and lift your right leg up behind you so that it becomes parallel with the mat. Okay. Now put weight into your right hand, lift your left arm so it's parallel. So this is exactly what we did in our table pose, except our knee was on the mat. This is a balancing pose. So you can stay here, or if you want to go a little further, you're going to lift the other arm up too and come into, this is warrior 3, Virabadhrad 3. And this is him handing the head of his father-in-law over to Shiva. Here's the head that I've cut off. And then hands come down. And then just bring your foot down to rest beside your other foot. And then walk your blocks back so that they're in place beside your feet as you slowly rise up. Inhale. Exhale, arms in a T. Anjali Mudra and Tadasana. I'm keeping you awake. All right. Left foot steps back. Hips go forward, legs straight. And we're going to come into the pyramid pose on this side, keeping a flat back coming from your hips. Come forward, hands on blocks or mat. And then once you're here, again, so now your right hip is going to want to cock out to avoid this stretch. So make sure you push it back into place. Think about leveling your sacrum. Both legs are straight, but don't lock your knees. And then breathe. And relax. If you relax, the stretch becomes more effective. Okay, bend your front knee, walk the blocks up, lift your left leg so it's parallel to the ground. And then your right arm comes forward. And you can either stay here or bring both arms forward. So this is our warrior three. And the metaphor is here, I'm handing you over myself to you, God, to help me deal with whatever I need to deal with. I'm in your hands. Cut off my ego and let me ask for strength. Hands come down, bring the foot down beside the other foot, and slowly rise up. Inhale. Exhale. Arms in the T. Anjali Mudra. Back to Tadasana. Okay, so this part of the story was Betsy's suggestion. Shiva and Shakti. Well, first of all, Shakti recreates herself. Shiva and the father-in-law make up, forgive each other. So now they're one big happy family. Oh, I got to do the humble stuff first before they have a baby. Okay, step back. Step back with your right foot and come back to where it lines up with your front foot. Okay, and then take your hands behind your back, clasp, lace your fingers, push your hands away, and then bow forward. This is our humble warrior. Bring the shoulder to inside of the front leg. So this is where Shiva and his father-in-law are making up. They're bowing to each other, forgiveness, becoming humble. And then slowly rise back up. You can release your hands and then step back up. And step the other foot back, line it up with the front heel. Bend the front knee. Lace your fingers behind. Rethread your fingers so that the opposite thumb is on top. And then we'll bow on this side to the shoulder comes to the inside of the leg. So this represents us being humble to ourselves, humbling our egos, and forgiving ourselves and forgiving others. Slowly rise up, release, and then step up. And now we're going to have the baby. Back to Tadasana. One big happy family. Shakti has recreated herself because she's the goddess of creation. So of course she can recreate herself. And they decide to have a baby. Inhale up. Exhale, bend your knees, fold all the way down. You can use blocks here or not. And we're going to step back to downward facing dog. Pause in dog for just a couple of breaths. You okay? Oh, your block gateway. Yeah, you know what? When they're high like that, they do get unstable. And then we'll bring our knees down. Now we bring our knees down and we'll sit back toward our heels into child's pose. This is the baby. So rest your head on something, a block or your hands or the mat, just for a couple of breaths. right, slowly push up. That's the end of our story. And we're coming to the end of our practice. We're not there yet. So please come onto your backs with your head facing toward me. We're going to wind down. So have your knees bent, hip width distance apart, flat on the mat. Take your right ankle and place it on top of your left thigh. Okay, everybody good? Take your right hand and push on your right thigh away to open up your hip joint. Okay, now you can use a strap here if you have a strap handy, or you can use your hands. I'm going to show you what we're going to do. We're going to take our right hand, thread it between our legs. Our left hand is going to go on the outside of the left thigh. And you're going to either grab your hands behind your thigh or grab a strap behind your left thigh. And then bring your head back down to the mat. So both your feet are in the air now. You're pushing your right leg away and you're pulling your left leg in towards you. So this is like a number 4 pose or reclined pigeon. Figure 4, right? So your hands are behind your left thigh, around your left thigh. Yeah, good. Yeah, that one. Yeah. And the other hand goes between through your legs. Yeah, there you go. No, you had it just right. That's perfect. See if you can relax your head down. Good. You can use your block behind your head if you like. This is supposed to feel good, so just relax here. Okay, now listen carefully. You're gonna keep your legs where they are. Release your hands from your thigh. Bring your left foot back down to the mat, but you're keeping your right ankle where it is. Good. All right. Bring your arms in a T, palms facing up. So the arms are extended from your body. And then you're gonna roll onto your left hip. And then your right foot will try to touch down on the mat on the left side of your body. And then keeping your chest open wide and your palms facing up, turn your head to look to the right hand. Good. Okay, please bring your head back to center, bring your knees back to center, uncross your legs, place your feet back on the mat flat, bent knees. And this time we're going to take our left ankle, place it on top of our right thigh, foot flexed. Take your left hand, push your left thigh away from you. Just open up that hip joint a little bit. And now you're going to pick up your right foot so that you can thread your left hand between your legs and your right hand goes on the outside of your right thigh. So your hands are clasping behind your right thigh and you're pulling that thigh towards you as you're pushing the other one away from you. Yeah, good. And then if you can relax your head back down, relax your head down. Okay, release your foot back down, bring your arms to a T, palms facing up. Now you're gonna roll onto your right hip, bring your left foot to the right side of your body. Keep your chest open and turn your head to look to the left. Okay, head comes back to center, feet come back to center, uncross your legs, bring your feet on the mat with bent knees, and then grab a block, lift your bottom up and place the block underneath your sacrum, which is the lower part of your back. And then either stay here with your feet on the mat, so this is a supported bridge pose, or you can let your legs float up in the air. So if you've not done this pose before, this should feel effortless, like a waterfall. It's called a waterfall pose. So if your legs are not floating in the air effortlessly, you either need to move your block around so that you move to the center of gravity, or you just keep your feet on the mat. And as you lie here, just think about your breath and just think about deepening your breath, slowing down your breathing, allowing your heart rate to settle. Slowly lower your legs and lift your bottom, remove the block, and then bring your bottom back down to the mat. Straighten your legs long on the mat. And now we're going to do a full body stretch. So bring your arms over your head with your palms facing up. And if you can touch the backs of your hands down to the mat or to the floor, go ahead and do that. And then just think about stretching your feet in one direction and your hands in the opposite direction. And take a couple of really deep breaths here, as if you're just waking up in the morning, stretching. Feel your shoulders stretch here. Inhale, big breath. As you exhale, bend your right knee and bring it in toward your chest. And then bring your hands down, lace your fingers and grab your right shin and pull your right knee into your chest. Good. Take a deep breath here. And as you exhale, lift your head and your shoulders, curl your spine up and bring your forehead toward that knee. And then very slowly curl back down. Release your leg, let it go long on the mat. Bring your arms overhead, palms facing up, full body stretch. Feet go in one direction, hands in the other. Think about how your shoulders are stretching, waking up from your long sleep. Inhale. Big breath in. As you exhale, your left knee bends, come into your chest. Your hands come and clasp around your left shin and pulls that knee into the chest. Okay, inhale, big breath. Exhale, lift your head and your shoulders, curl your spine up, bring your forehead towards that knee. And then very slowly curl it all back down. Release the leg long on the mat. Arms overhead, palms facing up. Full body stretch. Bring the hands down to the mat if you can. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, you're going to bend both knees into your chest and then take your hands and grab both shins or lace your fingers around your shins. Hug both knees into your chest. Roll around on your spine a little bit because it feels so good. And then take a deep breath in here. Exhale, lift your head and your shoulders and bring your nose towards your knees. And then very slowly roll your spine back down. Release your legs back long on the mat. One more full body stretch, arms overhead. And then bring your arms down by your sides and come into Shavasana, your final relaxation pose. Get comfortable any way that you like. And then start focusing on your breath. Slow down your breathing. Be aware of relaxing your body. Allow your mind to relax. Allow your thoughts to float by. And allow yourselves a few moments of inner bliss. Yeah. Please bring your awareness back to your breath and slowly deepen your breathing as you make gentle movements to wake up your body. And then please bend your knees and roll onto your right side in a fetal position to seal the practice. And now please very slowly, keeping a quiet mind, push up to seated. And then please join me with the closing chant. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light. Victory to the Cat Rock Yoga class and to the inner teacher. Jai Shri Satguru Maharaj Ki Jai. Knuckles to my forehead honors God. Knuckles to my chin honors you. Knuckles to my heart honors myself. Namaste. Jai Yogis.